I will call to order the meeting of the Charter Township of Comstock Parks and Recreation for Monday, January 12th, 2026. And is there approval of the agenda as it stands?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Okay. Are there any public comments? Seeing none. Moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any questions or concerns?
There is, on the invoice distribution report, there is one error, where did it go? The second line down, the business cards, that is not from our department, so it will be removed, but it does show up on this copy.
Okay. And let's see. We have two mercantile bills for November and December. Do you know what NPMA membership is? It says
It's like National Pesticide
Applicators?
something or another.
Oh,
But it's for Joe's pesticide application. I think it's every 3 years he has to get recertified.
okay. I didn't recognize what pested meant.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda of the meeting minutes, the distribution report, and two mercantile bills.
Okay, are there any objections? None noted, and motion passed. We go on to presentations. And there are none. And right on to business items and program review. Okay, Katie, just.
So Katie Justa, our program coordinator, put together a recap of the 2025 programs. So in your packet, not included in the packet, but information that you were given, has a few pages on that. So I don't know if you have anything to say or if she just wants questions.
Well, right off, I notice in archery, similar to 2024, but actually increasing in participation, which is good. Okay. For the clinic as well. Okay. Are there any adjustments in fees or anything that are being looked at?
I don't think so. I think softball's remaining the same. Dino Dig, it seemed like charging for that. I put reduced the amount of no-shows, and ultimately we had more people do it than last year. So I think $5 was reasonable for that. And then archery, I think, was gonna stay the same too, the $40.
Okay.
Of all of the programs, are there some that you say are definitely keepers and some that maybe you're rethinking, or is it all?
I think Dino Dig went well. We'll definitely keep doing that. I think the Halloween event and the Christmas event, there's opportunity to like just tweak things, I guess, and see.
And the Fall Fest has always been pretty well attended. But
Yeah, keep Fall Fest the same. I think the date on that is going to be the last Saturday in September still, like the 26th maybe. And then we talked about changing the farmers market hours from 3 to 7 to 3 to 6. We just had really low attendance in that last hour, and wondering if like feedback I had gotten from vendors last year was like consider closing
too
at 6
long,
anyway.
Too many hours, yeah.
And then
Okay.
I think
I did hear some folks say, why isn't it on this day or that day, or why is it on Saturday, and, not realizing all the other markets going on too. So are we sticking with our day, you think?
I think we're gonna try Monday for another season and revisit. It's just with the other local markets, like Vicksburg's Friday, Richland's Wednesday, Kalamazoo has a morning market Tuesday, Thursday for all of the season that we would be going. I think maybe if something changes there, it would be good to look at another day. I think that would be a good thing to like survey people. We talked about doing like a community survey to see like what kind of products or vendors or activities people would be interested in seeing at the farmers market this year, and see how I guess vendors feel about the market in September. This last year, the participation was low. We had a lot of vendors drop out that month.
Did they give you a reason, or?
Some did, some didn't. And one of the vendors that dropped out did come and participate at Fall Fest too. I don't know if it's just trying to balance like attendance, their own Fall Fest stuff, and their own farm stand stuff for the fall. If some vendors, depending on what they grow, might be busier at that time.
So was there any increase in the second year in terms of vendors, or I know you weren't there the first year, but
some of the vendors were the same. I don't know if I think there were probably less this year.
It kind of depended how you looked at it. We had 2 more produce vendors, where the first year we just had the one, and they weren't there the whole year. So in that aspect, it was better because we had produce the whole season. But then it was just changes in like different types of vendors, I guess. But I still think at the end of it, there were still maybe more vendors in 2025. But I could be mistaken. It did seem like there were more people attending this year compared to last year, although last year I didn't take a head count. It was just more of a observational head count, I guess, where this year I think Katie actually did take head counts. So that was good. It's just still trying to weigh that we're being told that people want a farmer's market, so trying to get vendors to come to give the people what they want, but then also really needing people to come to support it. And last year, I don't know if it's the same group or not, but people are coming knowing that they know that if they don't attend, then there's no reason for it to happen. So there's support there. I think the last year compared to this year, there's different wins, I'd say. They're small, but I think they're there. I think also having the farmers market there on Mondays is a bigger presence in the park that might deter other things from happening. So I wouldn't say that it's a failure by any means. It's just not comparable to Portage or Vicksburg or things like that.
But Comstock is not the same kind of community.
Exactly. Yep.
I just want to compliment you guys on this recap. I think it's a really good job. It provides us really good information. And I also was looking ahead to 2026 as well. So I'm just glad to see this in this format, and it makes it a lot easier to understand what might be working, what's not working. So
That's credit to Katie. She put this together.
good job, Katie.
Very good, love the pictures.
Yep.
Can I ask about the community garden? I know we talked a little bit about it when we did the Jan Shaw walkthrough, but can you give a little more, not an extensive history, but it shows this year and last year, it looks like we were supposed to have one more, but a couple of people dropped out. Has it been about the same over, say, like 5 years, as far as how many plots, and how many plots total can there be, I guess?
Total plots is 12.
Okay.
I believe it's been as low as like 4 people doing the garden, and I don't know if that's when maybe like the community center started doing a plot, and I think the library started doing one,
Okay.
but it's always been lower.
I got you.
I want to say with Vanessa as the parks director, I think they added more plots and like redid them to make them look a little bit better.
Okay. Well, if there's 12 total and we had 10 registered, that's not bad.
Oh,
That's,
sure.
I was thinking there was a lot more.
No, there's
plots
only
available.
12.
Okay. And that's not a huge drain on funds, I'm guessing, because they pay for plots and then just kind of, they go with it?
Correct. Joe will do like mowing in between and some weed whacking, things like that. He'll check in
Okay.
over there just to make sure things are okay, but no, we don't
Gotcha.
spend much money on it.
And do you think if we do the signage we talked about throughout, do you think that will help or have no effect
I don't know.
on participation?
It would be interesting to see the people who are using the trail, if they're gonna end up wanting to have a garden plot, or if it's just something like, oh, that sounds nice, and
Okay.
like continue on their way, in a positive way,
I got
that
you.
like there's that offered in the community.
Okay. So it may help as far as visibility,
Yeah.
other people seeing it. Okay.
Sure.
Just curious. Thank you.
Well, that's my thought. I don't know if anyone else has it.
Can't hurt.
The Halloween event was down quite a bit from the previous year. Was that due to weather, perhaps?
Honestly, I don't know. The first year I was expecting more of that, like 200 to 300, kind of our usual amount. And then we just had so many people show up that day. And then that's kind of what I directed Katie towards, that there's going to be a lot of people and all this sort of stuff, and then kind of lower numbers. So I'm not really sure what the reason is, to be honest.
Meaning, not the year before, which would have been 2024, you know, we ran out of candy like within the first hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was built for like 3 or 4 hours, I think, and we ran out of candy. So I don't know whether that, you know, some people were coming and then we just had to say we're done. And, you know, whether that maybe discouraged,
Oh.
you know what I mean, like if that,
Maybe, but there were still 800 people who got candy.
yeah.
So-
I'm just trying to think whether that would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I recall, though, that the weather was much better then, too.
Well-
You know,
That's what I don't remember. I can't remember that.
It was very windy in 2024, very windy. It was-
Cold,
it was
yeah.
Cold and windy,
Yeah.
I remember that, it was not great weather.
Sure.
I don't know if it was worse this year or not, but
cold.
It was cold, yeah.
it was cold and windy that day too. And there's so many of those events, I mean, there's so many of the churches that are passing out candy.
It felt like a lot of people when we were there.
When you're there.
It didn't feel like we were just standing around waiting for people to come, but maybe that's just.
That's the same with the Santa visit, too. I know it was cold, you know, and it kind of discourages people with real little children. But nonetheless, it was good for the ones who were there. So,
It's just hard to know. Like it.
So there are a lot of cooperative programs. I see National Night Out, the Memorial Day Parade, the egg hunt. Yeah, that's all very good. And have you had any feedback from those folks that you held events with or participated in? Are they thankful for that, or happy that we're helping out?
Yes, I know the Easter egg, the VFW is coming back. We've already confirmed the date for that. National Night Out is always kind of up in the air until a month to 2 weeks before. We're just kind of planning, assuming that that'll be something that we do. There's not much that goes into it for us to necessarily need to know super far out, but welcome them to come back. And then Memorial Day Parade, we talked a few months ago about how that'll change up a little bit. And, but I know seems like that would be kind of a staple in the community, so we'll try to keep that one going as well.
The VFW is definitely pulling out of the parade.
They are, but not to like full extent. Like they're still there to support and help with, especially the like military aspect, but they just don't want to be the leader of it anymore, organizing the floats, being the ones like day of trying to organize, that sort of thing.
Okay, would you like to talk about the, this year's planning overview?
Yes, I can do that. The first page, I just had kind of my understanding of how the program coordinator fits into the goals that were in the master plan. Or like how I can support Katie through some of the ones that she was indicated as lead on, like in the action plan for the master plan. And then I had set some, like that next page, the programming overview page, some objectives or goals, and then I tried to indicate which master plan goal they tie into, I think. They kind of break down into a couple different categories, strengthening proven programs, like Fall Fest, adult softball, Dino Day, that already bring people into the parks. And then continue and expand age-spanning programs like archery, things that just appeal to people of more ages. Some things Katie and I had kind of talked about for those are like adding a scarecrow decorating contest or a campaign like leading up to a Fall Fest, something to like build excitement and increase engagement, or adding like open archery sessions for people that have already participated in archery that might be interested in like a drop-in type event, like during the outdoor season, where we could like provide equipment, or some of them have their own bows. And then the next category, I felt like activating underutilized parks with low barrier programming. So like using the small flexible activities to increase positive park presence and visibility, and then using those to like test interest and form future programming instead of committing to a longer term program upfront, I guess. So the examples I listed were like pop-up play, guided walks, drop-in fitness type of things. So I think there's opportunity to include multiple age groups, just depending on what activity it is, basically. And then
Intriguing here. Messy Art Day and parks for pollinators.
Yeah.
Blitz and so on.
Yeah.
Are those like the bio blitz? Is that something that's like established somewhere? There's a template for that and just what is that?
It's like the NRPA's like national campaign to increase awareness of like issues pollinators are facing. So my understanding of it was that we could host like an event or a series of events to invite community members into the park to take pictures to document different plants or insects or other things besides that. And I think they can use an app, and then that data would be available to us, and I don't know, I imagine the NRPA would get it too. And then I've seen other parks departments across the country do different types of events to tie into that, like having a speaker or I don't know, a cleanup, something like that. And that's in September. I don't know if I put that on there. And then Messy Art Day, I had just seen another Parks Department do that, and it seems cool. Just something that people might not do at their homes that wasn't as like it didn't seem as intense as some of like the other programming. Like it seems like it could be done with a reasonable budget. It seems like it would be weather dependent because it would definitely be outside. And then I had seen this other Parks Department had like branded white shirts that they gave out as like smocks for kids. So that felt like an opportunity to like connect with businesses or organizations that might be interested in having their logos on the shirts or supporting something like that.
Exercise too, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Because then they all are decorating the park and they're hanging up to dry or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any way to start to identify costs involved with some of these ideas? And then where you go from here?
For the new program ideas?
Oh, yeah, just in general.
Yes, like I think my first step would be going through the program budget and trying to break it up, seeing what existing programs kind of already take and see what's left, and then trying to connect with businesses or organizations or anyone who would be interested in supporting something like those events. I don't think the Parks for Pollinators really has a cost. I think it's besides like labor, just depending what like accompanying event we would do. And then
To interject, we did raise the programming budget by, like, I want to say $5,000 for these reasons. We're buying more archery equipment, which was one of the reasons. And then softball usually takes a big actually buying softballs to sell at the concession stand takes a big chunk out of it. So that was another reason to increase the budget. So more of a actual amount that we're using, not being eaten up by some of these other costs that don't really help programming, in my opinion. So there will be money in the budget to do some of these extra things.
Are there any other questions? Oh, thank you very much. This is
Yeah, I think it's
nicely done.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
planned out.
I did have something to say.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's great. I really like the idea when you bring it all together, both in from a kind of a pre-marketed packet, so that makes it feel like it's a complete item. And in addition to that, as you kind of celebrate it and can put it up on a website or what have you, things that you've done, I think that's great. So kudos.
Okay. And that, let's see, where are we at here? So recreation programs, I'm looking for my title here, has been covered in the planning overview, correct? Didn't leave anything out, right? Okay, so that brings us to the program coordinator annual review. And we are, a lot of nice.
If I could just say, I think Katie has done a very good job this year. It was a very different year as a first year for a position, and I just cannot believe that she's still here today, that we're all just, as in, she just had to learn her job, do my job, learn a new job. It was just an awful lot, and I think that just speaks a lot of her and her character, her motivation, commitment to the department to stay here, and then just the stuff that she brings along with her aside from all that is just more than I could ask for. That's just, yeah.
Yes, thank you. I think we all agree with that. Thank you for providing this evaluation, and are you Are there any questions on that? Would you like to make a recommendation?
I'm a little confused by the question, but a 3% COLA increase, is that?
We did.
Which we approved.
Approved that already.
Right.
Yeah, but they're at the, well, okay.
Bill was given 2%, wasn't he, like an additional 2%
Right,
increase?
right.
So he ended up with 5%.
Right.
So
Right.
would we be doing that for Katie as well?
You want to entertain a motion?
I will move that we increase Katie Justice's salary by 2% as we did with our maintenance manager,
Bringing us to a total of 5.
bringing us to a total of 5. In addition to the 3% COLA, 2%
Right.
merit, I guess would be considered a merit raise.
Okay, first of all, I assume we have that in the budget. Okay, a minor point. Okay, is there any discussion or further discussion? Okay, shall we vote on that?
Sure.
Okay,
Do a roll call or
sure, voice, yeah.
voice? Go ahead.
All right, I approve that.
Oh, yeah, I approve. I thought you were going to call our names. I approve as well.
Alrighty. I forgot
Yes,
my
for
mic.
me.
Yes.
Okay,
We made the motion, so.
the motion passes.
Well, you can sometimes make a motion
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's true. We've been told.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. That brings us to, I'm getting this in the right order here. Yes, Park signage.
Okay, this started off as the entrance sign to Neal Street and then kind of developed into, let's try to get this whole sign project completed. So the first page is about adding Neal Street Park to the existing Comstock Cemetery entrance sign at Neal Street. So top left would be the actual, what it would look like. And then all this other stuff is what a sign coordinator person goes into. This is a lot to look at. But from what I'm thinking is, as long as everyone's okay with how the look is, I think it makes and actually to call out Katie Justa kind of came up with the design. I think it makes the most sense as opposed to having it on top and on bottom, with the cemetery being to one side and the park being to the other side. I think it makes a lot of sense. So
And the sign is placed,
it's on the road,
Right there. It's in plan.
one of those.
so then going to the right would be Neal Street Park, yeah, okay.
It was brought up, we might eventually need to add a directional sign once people get into the cemetery, if they really can't figure out which part is the cemetery and how to get down the hill to the park, but hopefully we don't have to go that far.
Okay,
So then with that is the quote for the sign, and that's what I was looking for, hopefully an approval for.
Ask one question, sorry. In the quote, it says, all right, let me rotate. The quote says, single-sided Comstock blue background. Does that mean this is only on one side of the sign, or is it on both sides?
It's 2 panels, I think, that it's specified.
Okay,
A single-sided panel on both sides.
both sides, okay, gotcha. So you'll be able to see it coming from, okay, just making sure. That was my only question, thank you. Okay,
my only concern is, like it's a cemetery / park. I mean, like, I don't know. Is that, I mean, I know there've been some comments about it was even wrong to place a pickleball court in a cemetery, but it's not in the cemetery. They are 2 separate things.
right. And there will be a fence eventually.
What?
There will be a fence eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, and
Dividing the two.
yeah, and I recall in the development of the sign initially was to do specifically just for the cemetery. So there wasn't any development going on at Neal Street. It was kind of a wash at that point, so.
I mean, the rest of our parks all have that one specific sign. I mean, we could do something like that, just really right in front of our area, right? I mean, you know,
Yeah, I don't think with the Neal Street Park is not really, is most noticeable than the cemetery, because cemetery is just kind of the first thing that you come across, where the Neal Street goes off to the side.
Maybe we could just add an arrow, like right, next to the park word to the
but
right.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what is.
Yeah,
the
you're going in the
cemetery,
drive,
what
I
is the
think
park.
you're committed to that.
Yeah,
I mean, as soon as you drive in, you can see what's the cemetery. I don't know why you wouldn't, I can't imagine anybody getting confused and thinking the cemetery's over there in the pickleball courts. Would they? I don't know.
I like the idea you just said about having one of our normal signs once you get closer to the park. Just like, I don't know if it says welcome or not, but kind of like what we have at Merrill and every other park.
And then leave the cemetery one just as the
Yeah.
cemetery.
No, I mean,
Oh.
do this.
Oh,
because
do that and,
You need to know that you're entering both places when you go
Okay.
in, but then when you go down to our park, it has one of our signs down there
okay.
with whatever verbiage we want to have on there. And the cemetery can do the same if they want, but I don't think they need to, because it's, like Mark
And
said, it's the first thing you see.
The cemetery's all, I mean, they're on board with
Yes,
revamping that.
yes.
She didn't want to split the cost at all?
No, and to be honest, I don't know how fair it is since they are the ones
Yeah, I
that
know.
fronted the cost, and now for us to ask them to change it and pay for it, please.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
And then, like Brett would say, it's all the
to
same.
be fair, it all comes from the same pot of money, so it doesn't really matter who pays for it. The taxpayers pay for it, so.
so the total is the $3,010 for a change, okay?
And I gave you the permit.
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make the motion to approve the signage.
I abstain.
Any other objections or, no, none noted, then motion passed.
All right, so the second piece to this business item is talking about the rest of the signs, but I'd actually like to switch two of the papers around so we can stay at Neal Street for another minute. So looking at page 12 is the Neal Street park-specific signs. So this is just adding professional signage to the park. Most of this,
Sorry, page 12.
oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah, it is 21.
21, not 12.
Yeah, okay. Just upside down.
So this signage basically already exists, it's just making it look better than a Word document laminated. So a couple of my edits that I had to this, for number one, I think we should remove of player. So the first rule would say, play shall be on a first come, first served basis for any skill level. I didn't think of player was needed. And then for number two, if you go over to other wording, I'm just saying that we need to put that wording in place of, at the bottom of that first one where it says when courts are full and players are waiting to play. At opening season for the spring, we will have a paddle saddle. So that wording isn't needed. We can use the more professional other wording. And then the third one is just a minor correction, is that it's a win by 2, not a win by 1.
I think if you just say win by 2.
Well, I wouldn't say, it's removing not win by 1, it's saying win by 2.
Yeah, but that's all you have to say, is you have to win by 2.
Yes, in the current wording, it says win by 1.
Oh, okay, all right. So that's, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then for 4, what was I saying here?
Those are the ones that you've been pushed to put outside of the park itself.
Right. Oh, now I see.
Talking about number 4, I think you were saying that the font is easier to read, maybe?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Look at that. Thank you. You know my brain.
But I mean, these directional ones, do we really think that's necessary? I mean, I can't believe anybody's going to drive in there and not realize what.
So for this, I think this is up for at 26th Street to get people to turn onto Neal Street to go back there.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question on your sign here that says previous 2022, where it has McLendon, Robert Morris, and Echo Valley.
Yes.
I have a problem with Echo Valley Park there because it's not really part of our Comstock Township Parks and Rec Department.
I think that was just carryover from 2022 when I thought it was decided, or maybe not decided, but it was we should have Echo Valley on here.
Yeah, it's just the header. It implies that it's part of the park system and it isn't, so that's the problem.
Yeah, that was, we don't have to put that in. That was just at the time frame that was going to be, because the signs that are currently up there has Echo Valley on it.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't think the current ones say Comstock Township.
No, it doesn't.
No, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Simply letting.
Yeah.
So to can be completely honest, let you know what I did reach out to Eco Valley the other day as a hello, would you like to meet, discuss future opportunities? And I thought that we did want them on this sign. So I asked them if they wanted to be on the sign.
Okay, but it's,
I agree that it shouldn't be labeled that they're a part of the Parks Department, but is there a way to make it so? I thought it was, we were trying to have them on the same sign, so we reduced the amount of signage that is on that road. And if you go 10 more feet and you have another sign saying that Eco Valley is up there. And I thought there was something with being with the, the road commission that we have to go through that.
I was just going to say, I mean, how do we know we can even,
Yeah, this goes back to Vanessa, I believe, and then Danielle. And Danielle had pulled permits for the application of getting these done. And then it kind of got stalled. The discussion was, what are we going to put on it as well, if Echo Valley was included or not? And so it just kind of fizzled, so.
we know we can replace them.
Yeah, there were permits at some point. I was never a part of that, so I don't know where it was. We found it.
You couldn't read them anymore.
Oh, yeah, they're destroyed. Well, some of them are missing too, so, yeah. But yeah, the blue, denotes that it's a Comstock property, so there is that as a consideration, obviously, so.
well, one thing that can be done is like a line under the Robert Morris Park and then a slightly different color in the background for Echo Valley. So you're being cooperative and pointing people to recreational things, but it doesn't then stand out as one of the other things that we have, that it's under our jurisdiction and liability.
Right.
So that's, or even a smaller separate.
Recreational opportunities. You didn't say anything about Comstock Township.
Or just start here.
Well, I mean, you're just pointing out points of interest as opposed to who's.
I don't think it's a detriment in any way to include it, and I do think that it is blue, so it does seem like it's, again, a park property, but I have either here nor there.
Well,
That's what I was thinking more.
that's kind of like a lawyer question too.
Sure. Katie just drew up a perfect little thing. So it's,
Perfect little.
I love her. So it's our sign and then probably not chains in my mind, but chains that connect to it. No, we don't like that.
We can put you can do a second sign, but then they should just pay for it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can make it whatever color they want.
I mean, if it just says Comstock Township.
I mean, I just didn't.
Yeah, no, I know it, but I mean, then it just looks like, well, these are
Right.
places in Comstock Township, but if it literally
Which they
says, Parks and Recreation.
Sounds like you have to decide, what do you think is more important, having Comstock Township on the sign or having all 3 of those places on the sign? Because it can be like the old sign and just indicate them with no parks identification, but if we're looking to brand our parks, then
Hey, once they
you wanna
get
go with
to
the blue.
Robert Morris, once they get to,
Yeah.
then it clearly states that it's Comstock Township. driving on Sprinkle Road,
But
right?
Echo
No, we've
Valley
got,
is just
there's a map
private
that shows,
property.
I would say McLinden Trails is also kind of a tricky one because it's
Yep.
not entirely ours.
Correct.
And I don't know how many phone calls they get, but we get a fair amount.
But, we also have that in our brochure too. I mean, our cooperative
Yeah.
venture should be noted.
No, I was gonna say might even, like disc golf course or so, you know what I mean, that there's.
amenity, not,
Yeah.
I think the naming, the nomenclature is important to identify that. But then we don't do this for all our parks either. So
Right.
that's the other gray area. I think as a starting point, it was, well, let's replace the ones that are missing and replace the ones that are destroyed and you can't read. And brand them as Comstock Park and include whomever was on that path. So,
So I guess I have two questions moving forward. One would be just looking at the Neal Street, basically pickleball signs, if I can move forward with getting those put up. And then the second one would be trying to figure out what we want to do with our directional signage, because part of it is for, this piece kind of goes to the other piece. So looking at page 19, it's looking at adding directional signage to a majority of the parks, with that just being one of them.
What is your question exactly?
How should we move forward with the directional signage for, there's the grouping for what's on H Avenue, but then we also have like Winky, Ballfield, Jan Shaw, and Merrill on that road.
M96
Thank you.
/ River Street.
I don't know, I mean, what do these signs cost? Is it,
it was quoted out back in 20,
In 2022, so we would need to get an updated quote, but for, looks like a total of 8 signs, it's just under 3,000, and that's on page 20.
so I mean, you want to have McLinden Nature Trails, the one that adds, I mean, that lists all 3 recreational opportunities, and then still one that has to say that it's in 500 feet, you know?
again, it's replacing what's currently there.
Yeah.
And it's plus in a dip, so I think someone put it there intentionally at some point. It was probably just a grassy parking lot or something at some point. There might not even have been a sign at one point even.
Well, I think that I still have the reservation. We can't make the assumption that Echo Valley is something run by the township and by the park. So
I'd agree.
we can't imply that.
No.
And with McLinden, it's still, we're given that management responsibility of McLinden Trails for the trail upkeep. So that's a gray area, but also, yes, a cooperation with the city of Kalamazoo. So, either, I mean, I would just suggest like taking it off the bottom and having it as a separate plate, maybe a different color, if that would be fine. I mean, what else is around the area that, we don't own or manage too, that's,
I think it's just the point that they are currently on a sign.
yeah,
Whomever put those signs up, which probably was Township, I don't know.
I don't know.
Anybody driving on Sprinkle Road is going to look at the sign and say, oh, that Echo Valley is a different color, must be that's not part of Comstock Town.
Yeah, I don't think.
Not the parks, though. That's what I mean, the parks. Because it says Comstock Township Parks and Recreation Department.
I'm just saying, if you're going down Sprinkle Road and you see a sign, you're not going to, I don't think anybody is going to be contemplating, well, why is Echo Valley a different color?
Yeah, well, they might be doing that now then,
So it's I don't know if there's a motion that needs to be made, but it sounds like I can get the signs made for Neal Street. I guess pickleball street
Is
signs.
there's no quote for that yet? Or that you're just moving forward?
I don't
see
think
one
there
for that.
was.
No, there was not a.
So so we don't need a motion, I don't think, until we actually have a quote, so
Okay.
you can just go.
Okay, I guess then with that being said, is there anything that you all see that needs to be edited with the signage
For pickleball
for
specifically?
pickleball specifically?
I don't think so. Other than the directional, those signs will be on the fencing around like the learn to play and the
Yeah.
rules and,
Yeah.
okay.
Is it just one?
I think so, because otherwise I think you're looking at 4 and that seems like too much.
Yeah.
So my thought would be putting it on, it would actually be facing the parking lot, but as you walked up to the pickleball courts, I think it would be like on this side and the courts are facing down this way. So I'll get a quote for that, and then I think we should get at least a directional sign for 26th Street telling people that Neal Street is down that way, because no one knows where this place is. I will tell you that. And then I guess some more direction on what to do with replacing the existing signage of these other wayfind directional road signs.
I know it's a cooperation with McLinden, but I don't have an issue necessarily with that being on there because we do handle it, so to speak.
Sure.
And the 500 feet sign, I think it's because you can miss it. I think
Yeah.
it's a good idea for that one. And as far as the other ones, I like that we have the ones on M96, but I can't see from the map. Are we putting the one on the west, is that at East Michigan that we're putting that sign in?
So the ones on the bottom,
Then the other
that was a
33rd?
discussion point that I brought up because it felt like, well, if we're going to do that, where do we start, where do we
Yeah.
stop kind of thing. It's completely wide open there, for like on 20,
Oh, no, I see, it's on River Street. I was thinking it was at East Michigan and
yeah.
Sprinkle.
And then on 33rd,
That's near the DDA sign
yeah.
And 33rd makes sense because that's where,
Yeah, and there's only one going if you're going north. So the one coming south
Yeah.
there's nothing there anymore.
somewhere in that stretch between 35th and, it might be past 33rd, there's a sign that's a green color, it just says Comstock.
Yeah, like that was the
Yeah, I don't know
line.
where that came from, but, and that's.
Because you guys replaced the welcome greeting Comstock logo.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that,
Yeah, when you enter the
Them on
township
that,
line,
yeah.
yeah, those are replaced with township, that matches the flag.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that signifies, the sign that just says Comstock
Yeah.
randomly on M96 somewhere. Anyway, my point is it makes sense that you're coming into town and that's right before the first park, so.
Yeah, and maybe this is the reason why it was stalled prior, because no one could make a decision.
Right. Yeah, so we can look at that, but obviously the arrows will have to be different if that's where you're putting it, because River Street's, like Merrill Park's the opposite way of the other two parks. It looks like it's at River Street and M96, which is where the current
yeah.
DDA sign is. So Merrill Park, you'd have to go south, where the other two, you'd go east.
You
So
said
somehow
right
you'd
in
have to
front of
do
the DDAs?
Or on top of it? So I don't know if you want to put it as Sprinkle, that's why I'm asking, to match the
Yeah.
other sign for McLinden and Robert Morris, which is
Yeah.
also on Sprinkle. But then you'd have to have another one to tell people where to turn for River Street. That's all. Or if you put it on Comstock Ave, then you need more directional signs.
Nowadays, everybody just has their phone tell them where to turn, and, I mean, is it even?
Right. I don't know that it's that necessary of directional, it's just kind of branding. That's what I'm thinking, like,
Yeah, so,
hey, come see our parks. That's all.
yeah.
I wouldn't use them to find something myself. I would just put it in my maps, but.
No, like, if you're gonna go for the McLinden Nature Preserve, I don't know. I mean, that you'd be looking for
Right.
markers along the way that, you just know where to go.
But you could be going along an avid pickleball player and say, wow, look at that sign, Mill Street Pickleball, another court. I've had people
That's
come
true.
up to me and
I
tell
didn't
me
think about
that.
that. If you're not looking for one of our parks, maybe this would spark your interest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the directional signs, how I think it makes a lot of sense to at least point out Robert Morris and Merrill from like an event perspective and pavilion rental perspective, because it seems like people come from out of town for family reunions and stuff like that and might be looking for that specific park. And same with Merrill, if we're doing events, then it's nice to
Right,
make it as-
so that one you'd want to sprinkle in Comstock Ave near the bank,
Yeah.
if you're on Sprinkle.
We could start it on 94 and just have a series
Right,
of signs.
Sort of like when you're going out west and it's, what's the big place that everybody goes? Wall Drug. You know, you, 270 miles to Wall Drive, 269 miles
Yeah.
to Wall Drive.
You start in Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, who knows, that might be the reason why you
Yeah.
bring people in.
I know, but then as you get there, you're disappointed.
Seriously?
sounds like we're interested, but maybe not ready yet.
I was just gonna say, do you want,
Yeah,
is there anything I can do before February, or do you just want to have time to think about it, and then next month we'll bring it back again and see how we're feeling about it?
I suggest that, you think about it some more and then propose something that we can think about, maybe,
How
You
more
know.
specific would you like?
Thank you.
I mean, that's literally a map with all the signs. So I don't know what we would need
Okay.
to do.
okay.
I think she's looking for us to either support it or drop it, is my guess, right?
all right, well, I'll go first then.
Oh.
I like the locations for the H-Ave parks, I just don't think we should have Echo Valley on there. That's my thought there. The location is great, coming from both ways, drawing people from both ends of the township.
Yeah.
Then the other one, I'm good with all three, but I don't think the locations, I don't think the west location makes sense where it
Yeah.
is. I think it needs to be on Sprinkle like the other ones. I don't know, but it's hard, if you put it at East Michigan, you're gonna need another one for Merrill on top of the DDA sign. But Comstock Ave is where most people turn though, not East Michigan, so I don't know, that one's, I don't know about
Oh,
that
to
one.
get them-
And
yeah.
then I think the other one, the east one is on 33rd, just like the other ones. So are you trying to capture people coming from Richland maybe? Because if you're coming from
The
M96,
idea was that we already have a sign in that general area.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
we're kind of reinforcing or replacing.
just asking, because if
Yeah.
you have it the same direction, if you're on 96, you're not going to see it unless you pass it.
Yeah.
That's all.
But we don't have a code on this, so we really can't make a motion.
So right now it's an outdated quote, but I guess a final time to say, is this something that we want to do? And I'll get an updated quote, and with the way
Yeah.
things look, or no, we don't want directional signage, and then it's dropped.
Yes, it's a thorn that's been out there.
Yeah,
for
no,
too
I would
long.
say we
Right.
would
Yeah, I like the idea.
just give us the final quote so we
Yeah.
can make that the motion.
Okay.
But I mean, how do you feel about Echo Valley? I mean, you're gonna have to call them back and say,
Never mind.
That I misunderstood the project and I jumped ahead, but.
I think it's great that she reached out and,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm just trying to cover her so that she doesn't, I mean,
You can blame us.
if we say we can't get Echo Valley, I don't think it'd be a big deal to add Echo Valley, but.
Yeah.
I wasn't imagining it'd be exactly like the one pictured here, but I don't think anybody could argue that the way that this is presented, we don't want people thinking that Echo Valley is ours when we don't want to take ownership of something that they're doing. And I can't imagine they would feel that way either. And then when you start talking about legalities and things like that, I guess I was just waiting for the magic fairy sign maker to come up with a different way to present this.
Could you do it like,
There he is.
I don't know if this is even possible, but like when you're on the highway and you come to an exit and there's a sign that says gas, and then on the other side it says food. No, I know that's thinking too simply, but can we do something like that? Comstock Parks and Rec over here and then other attractions or something. I don't know. I'm not a sign guy.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Echo Valley, I mean, who knows if they're even gonna make it? I mean,
Well, we hope, yeah.
we hope, but I
Well-
mean,
Yeah.
you could spend a lot of money to have their name on there and then have them
Yeah.
say, well, this didn't work so well.
Well, we have a firefighters memorial over here too. I don't know if there's a sign that directs you to that either. So there
Yeah,
are
that's a
lots
good
of
point.
different things around the community that you might want to point out.
Sure. This was also kind of a we don't offer outdoor winter recreation, so it was kind of a, tip of hat to that thank you for offering something in the township for winter activities.
And maybe at some point there could be a joint venture
Sure.
with Echo Valley.
Sure.
Like fishing here and sledding over there, or.
Well, until it's
So-
real.
February, come back with an updated quote. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
Yes, and to clarify, no Echo Valley on any of the signs?
Yeah, it's not part of the
No,
Parks and Rec
I'm
Department.
clarifying that.
Yeah, I don't know how we could justify that. There are other
And then
private
everything
businesses
but the-
too.
Well, she's gonna have to relay this to her sign guy, who's probably not paying attention, but, to remove the signs from, so small, 32nd, 33rd, near River Oaks, and the one down by the DDA sign, is that correct?
Remove them or just move them?
Move them,
Well, I don't know that the one at 33rd and M96 is bad.
yeah.
You're just not going to, anybody coming off the highway and going down that way is not going to see it. That's all.
Unless it's a double-sided. sign.
Right. Well, it'd have to be a cube.
True. Okay.
But either way, we need one there, somewhere there.
Okay. And so, to my understanding, the permitting process goes through Township, as through, not MDOT, was it MDOT?
For that road, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
That's kind of
unless you
out
put
of
it,
the sign guy's jurisdiction.
unless you put it on 33rd out of the MDOT right-of-way, then you deal with the road commission.
And he can help you.
Okay.
It's a team effort.
I think I got it. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to the seasonal park attendant job description.
So the last maybe 2 or 3 years, I feel like slowly as a position has come available, we've updated that job description. So looking at opening the position for the seasonal park attendant, I looked at the job description and it hadn't been updated in a while. So I updated, am I looking at the right one?
On page 23 or on page 25, which one's the updated one? Must be.
Sorry, now I see it. Okay, so page 25 is the old one. At the bottom, it says updated 3/3/2020. So then the updated one has draft written on it, and this format matches what would now be I think the park director position got updated. I know the program coordinator position got updated. So that kind of follows that format. For some of the others, we would put in like red what was updated and strike out things. To me, it's too different than what this looks like. So most of this is on here, but it's just been added to, and like I said, it matches more the format that we've been going with. So I'm looking, I guess, for a motion to approve the updated park position in hopes of opening the position probably February, early March.
The one thing that I wanted to mention is to include expectations for an occasional after-hour requirements. I mean, you kind of have it in there, you kind of not
Sure.
as saying it's events, but just to note that that expectation would be after hours on occasion, potentially.
Sure.
Okay, I also have a question about the age 16.
So I talked to Scott, and he said that we can hire at 16. We don't, and it's just been that we've only been hiring at 18 for multiple reasons. I'm wondering, just in trying to improve overall staffing at Robert Morris, if it wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe hire a couple of 16-year-olds. So that's why I put it at 16. It doesn't mean that I have to hire all the 16-year-olds that apply, but I think it just opens us up to a different group of people.
Usually if they're 16, you have to have they have to have more breaks and
Yeah, work permit.
work permit and stuff like that. But then you've got to have somebody there that can make sure that they get the breaks that they
Sure.
can.
Yeah, I know because I have a current 16-year-old and two very recent 16-year-olds that there's not a lot of jobs out there for 16-year-olds. So I think this is a good idea because they're looking for something.
Sure.
As long as they've got some supervision, you know,
Mhm.
3 16-year-olds out there.
Right.
Still trying to prove something.
Yeah, as long as the permitting aspects are all proper,
We'd want to state that in the document then, correct?
I can look into that, see if it's,
you usually get those from your physical. Okay.
so do you want me to then add that in, bring it back to February for approval?
Is that too late for you to get it out or not?
I think would be like February 9th, I think is our board meeting, so I don't think it's too late.
Does she
Okay.
need our, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't,
We're not approving a new position, correct? Just a
No,
new job
just the
description?
job description.
Oh,
you say it at 3 16-year-olds.
No. Just
Yeah, you're looking for feedback.
Okay,
an updated and more robust job description is what you, yeah, I don't know that we, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't know if you have to put the work permit language on the job application.
Oh.
I think it's on the student to get that, because they get it signed by the principal, bring it to you, you sign it, and then they take it back.
okay.
So I don't think you have to put that on the,
Or is Parks responsible for that person to have that documentation?
no, it's the
It's on
kid's
the individual.
responsibility, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, but I mean, some kids are not going to know anything
Yeah.
unless they're told.
Oh, I know.
But especially if it's the first time they've ever looked for a job.
Yeah, yeah, you can mention it, but I don't, so I'm trying to think, I don't think we put that on there.
If they show up for work and they haven't given you one, then what do you just say? Sorry, you didn't bring me a work permit, you're not working, or?
Yeah, you can go over it in the interview process too.
Yeah.
Like this,
Yeah,
here's
I
what
mean,
you need,
that's
the
what I'm
onboarding and all
saying.
that.
Some heads up that they have to do it.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna get somebody showing up and you just have to turn them away.
Yeah.
Well, if they show up to work and don't know, then I guess we did something wrong in the hiring process.
So then, thank you for the feedback on this. You don't need to have it brought back again? Okay. So then, moving on to, oh, sorry, that's your.
Oh, okay, yeah, the park manager job description next.
I guess same sort of thing. I just, for the beginning paragraph, I just wrote out hours instead of abbreviated it, and then I added in what the schedule would be. So I don't know if this would be more informative to you on what I'm planning for this summer, and not necessarily needing approval, but just any other feedback from it. I didn't change anything else. We did just look at this last year.
I mean, there's nothing in these that states what the rate of pay is gonna be.
No, and that was my other thing that I kind of forgot, but after this piece, the minimum wage in Michigan has gone up. So this past year in 2025, it was $12.48. In 2026, it's being raised to $13.73, and in 2027, it's going to be raised to $15. I am asking for approval to raise the pay for the seasonal park attendant to $15 an hour. I think it just kind of goes in line with what the rest of our area is paying. And aside from that, just again, trying to look for higher caliber staff and pay paying people what they're actually kind of going to do. I think when you're paying them a little bit lower and we kind of set the bar at, you're sitting at a, like guard shack and you're collecting money, I'd like to raise that a little bit up. We're paying you $15 an hour and the expectation is going to be a little bit higher. So the seasonal, asking for the pay raise to $15 an hour, and then also the park manager for the same sort of reasons. It was at $17 an hour, and I'm asking to raise it to $20. I did talk to Brett as our finance director, and it's not exactly, from the numbers that I ran, we do run over a little bit in staffing pay, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we would actually go over once we hit December. And looking at the entire budget, there's probably enough room in there to be able to just do a line adjustment to still cover the cost of these increases. So.
Right.
Now, 16-year-old, you don't have to pay as much, isn't that correct? I mean, I think there's a different pay scale for.
That I don't know.
Oh, that I'm not sure either. So I guess with that, it would be the.
Because they can only, I mean, you know, they get more break time and they can only work, you know, so many hours. And I don't know about during the summer though, but I know during the school year, they can only work so many hours and they can't be there after a certain time at night and before a certain time in the morning. So
Sure.
there's a lot, to have a 16-year-old requires a lot more monitoring. So I don't know, you know, if that reflects that you're going to pay them a little less or, but we'll leave that.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, for the seasonal, it's not a huge jump in pay. And I think, to Katie's point, you'll hopefully get some better candidates for that. But I think the park manager is more important to move that to 20, just because I know every parks director I've worked with has expressed difficulties in trying to find a park manager that will work basically full-time, but only part of the year for whatever we figured out the annual salary was, not much.
Like $24,000. No benefits.
Right. So making that a little more attractive, might find someone that you can, not only that you can count on, but that will come back from year to year.
The park manager would be expected to be there like weekends.
I'm proposing this, and like the expected schedule is Wednesday through Sunday from 1 to 9:30 with those possible extra times. But I'm looking more at just being at Robert Morris Park with the potential of maybe helping out at other parks, where before it was more Winky and Robert Morris together. I would just focus on Robert Morris.
And you're gonna, not to change the subject, but you're gonna have an umpire in chief again, I assume, that can kind of handle that?
Yes.
That was my vision.
Yeah.
They kind of handle all what's going on there. Perfect. I like that.
Do I need approval for the pay increases, or is that?
I think so. For the job description, with the minor changes, I don't think so, but probably for the pay increases, yes, I would think. Because it is gonna, it won't affect the budget immediately, but it may down the line as we get toward the end of the year. So there's no adjustment necessary at this point. We just have to see how the expenses shake out for the year, yeah.
So for this, you'll have this in place, you'll do your interviews and so on, and then you have to offer a salary. So is this something that we can approve now?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Do you want to do them separately or just all together? Park manager and seasonal staff?
All together is fine.
All together? Okay.
But the only thing we don't know is what the 16-year-olds will make.
Right, right.
I'll look at if it could be like pay the seasonals up to $15 an hour.
Based on experience.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have somebody that's worked there for a couple of summers and are coming back,
I think so, but
and you're starting.
yes,
20, you would probably have to pay them a little.
you have to pay minimum, but that's only gonna be 13 something.
But they're only at like maybe 14.
Really nice jacket.
I don't think we had anybody above 14 this year. So if they came back, they would
I know where you can get.
be at 15. I don't know if we stick to that moving forward from this year. If they're already being paid 15, if you come back again, are we going to say that you're 16 now? That's not really written anywhere. That was just kind of a kindness that we've been doing to people that we liked, who did a good job.
So we need a motion for,
All right, so I move, starting in 2026, We pay the park manager position $20 an hour based on the new job description, and seasonal staff up to $15 an hour at the discretion of the director. Does that work?
Are there any objections? Okay, motion passed. What does the city pay? You know,
Depends on the position.
Like a seasonal 18-year-old who's gonna stand at
Yeah,
concession stand.
well, that's depending on the position too.
Yeah.
It's anywhere from 13 to upwards of $18
So we would still be a lot higher than,
for, depending on the position, but I mean, that's the way it is everywhere. County pays their park rangers or whatever they call them, their attendants, almost $16 an hour now.
almost 16, okay.
Yeah.
And that's not a manager per se. Yeah.
It's just,
okay. Onward, onto the parks brochure.
So another project that's been carried over, this is the current one and what the format would be. I just don't have it that pretty for you in your packet, but one of these. With this updated one, it includes Neal Street, and I took off the community garden, mostly for space, and I didn't necessarily see the community garden as needed to be like called out in this type of thing. In my mind, it's more of a program that is offered, not something that you're looking for in your program guide or park guide. So I talked with Brett earlier today. He saw a couple like grammar errors. If anyone has any opinion on the layout or what?
Sorry, nothing, I'm just waiting for you. I don't want to interrupt you. But you feed me.
The layout or any feedback at all. I'm hoping to get this printed before the spring that we can start passing out at different programs and things like that, but there's time to bring it back to you.
One thing I just found, sorry, I didn't find it earlier, and I'm trying to picture it in my mind to make sure I have my direction correctly, but this says that Green Meadow Park is in the southeast corner of the township, and I think it's in the southwest, near the southwest corner of the township. If I have that right in my head.
Southwest.
Yeah, southwest.
Okay.
So
Should have caught that earlier, sorry.
No, that's,
I'm reading this as the front is the QR code and the logo.
yes, I folded mine.
Okay. Yeah. I think at some point it would be nice for us to start thinking about where'd that come from?
It's a ghost.
Jeez, am I gonna touch? A marketing message that we can start to carry over the Parks with Life or whatever, Portage does a really good job of that kind of stuff, and then this is perfect for now,
Sure.
but I think start to think in those terms that we can start to give it a little bit more, I don't want to be critical, but more impact that way. And then the last thing, some of the pictures, I'm sure these are just a photocopy or whatever, but like Winky, it's hard to see really what's going on there, and I'm also looking at it sideways. Green Meadow, it's literally a meadow. There's nothing, you know what I mean? So I don't know if there's any more dynamic photos that might be able to create. I mean, I like the one from Robert Morris and the oak tree and that kind of stuff, obviously the iconic waterfall. That's my only suggestion without, trying to dive in and redo it or anything like that.
Sure.
So.
Would it be helpful also to have some shots of, action shots of people actually doing the sports or the activities, or we can't?
So we don't have a lot of photos. So what we have is a little bit with what we have. I'll certainly go back and kind of see if there's better photos of some of these things. It doesn't have to be done by spring, but one of the thoughts was trying to get this out and not taking a winter photo of Robert Morris Park. So I did change that one from, I think it was a fall picture of some trees. I just changed it to a beach thinking people go there for the beach. For Green Meadow, yeah,
Sure, with kids in the water.
Right, that's what I mean, actually, activities.
Some of those from Comstock. With kids in the fishing or kids in the water.
okay.
This one at Pier Park, now, there's talk about moving.
My order is a little interesting, I guess. So I was gonna talk about that it's probably fairly likely that we're gonna move the memorial, and that's what we were gonna talk about with the Pier Park business item. So that would need to be a picture that would need to be replaced before it got printed, but not trying to rush the project by any means. I was just trying to get it out and to people, especially with Neal Street being done. If anyone has photos that they would like to send me, I can try to put those in. Otherwise, I guess what is more the priority? Is it trying to get some more photos and certain things updated, or print only a couple hundred, pass these out, and then kind of update again with different photos and certain other things that come up?
I like that idea, getting the brochure out, but you can always update the pictures for next year or whenever you want to switch them out.
Yeah, I agree, or put it into the schedule so that we are, oh yeah, let's get some pictures of Robert Morris and people playing, whatever.
I feel like one of the hard things, we don't have a lot of materials to pass out. I think Danielle did this one 2 or 3 years ago, and this is the only one left. So we don't have a lot to pass out. Oh, okay, good. So just being able to actually hand stuff out, I think the farmer's market, any of the events, any programs, just having them at the parks, we just don't have anything. So I'd agree with you that the pictures aren't the best, but it's kind of what we have right now.
I did see a larger brochure from the library that they put out, which opened in a 3 panel type, and they had, lots of pictures and things in there, and a calendar and all of that for activities, and that could be another step.
Yeah, I think a program brochure has been on the radar for a while, and again, it's just something that just kind of hasn't really happened. Well, I did do one a couple of years ago, but to know far enough in advance what the year is going to look like, and then also being able to actually come up with the thing, it just takes time. But yes, that is something that we want to do.
Okay.
So just a couple of minor things, but then I guess next month I'll bring back a quote to get this printed. I don't know how much it's going to be, but
It's in the budget, I would assume.
just do it. Okay.
Yeah, unless it exceeds $5,000 or something.
Okay. I can't imagine I'm going to spend
What is the QR code? What does the QR code take us to?
the main parks page.
Okay. And is that changing and evolving too? I mean, because I know at one point the content was you couldn't do updates, you couldn't change anything and that kind of stuff. Has that changed or gotten any better?
No.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh, maybe Katie knows
Well,
more.
Yeah.
It can be updated. I've been updating the parks page, the program offering page, and like the individual pages for programs, but it's just really finicky. Like sometimes you hit publish and then it's like, you got to try again. And then you hit publish again and it's like, we already did it. And you're like, I don't, yeah, so that's.
We no longer have the marketing or IT person that was doing that, right?
We don't have the full service where they do everything.
Yeah.
We have the partnership where we do what we can and then we send them an email when we
yeah.
can't do it. I do know that there's a big overhaul coming, both because they're changing, I think, from WordPress to something else that's more user-friendly, but also it has to be ADA compliant by 2027, I think, because of our population, not 26. So all that's going to change. So there's going to be a very specific way how we have to load documents on the site now, because they have to be readable and all that, yeah. They have to be screen readable and they have to be something else. But Shoemaker's on top of all that, so they're handling it. But so there is an overhaul coming hopefully soon.
Okay. All set? Okay. Moving on to Pier Park, Park of the Month, and to have the memorial.
Yes, so I didn't know, sorry, I didn't reach out ahead of time, but if anyone had the history of why Pier Park has the memorial at that site, and if there's any reason that we shouldn't move it from that spot. The thought,
We
yeah.
don't even know who originally put it there.
Oh, okay.
There's no history that anybody can come up with as to who actually spent the money to put it there.
So what is the reason for moving it? Just curious.
Sure, yep. So with the Memorial Day Parade, one of the, I don't know a good word, like kind of issues a little bit with the route is where it starts at the school and goes down Comstock Avenue, goes onto River Street, and then eventually goes over the railroad tracks to end at Pier Park for the memorial piece. Going over the railroad tracks is hard with a parade and probably not the best idea. Also with like the permitting that we have to do, we're always approved, but it's just, in my mind, just not the best for a couple of reasons with the safety. And then I think we lose a lot of people who even go to the memorial piece of the parade, which is kind of maybe the entire point of the day. I think if we move it, the best place would be to put it at Merrill Park because it is that central park and it would help with the parade route. Talking to the VFW, Dean Rockwell was the one who's helped us at least the last couple of years. I can't remember if he brought it up or if I brought it up, but he's looking into what will go into moving a memorial from the VFW standpoint. And then I think he is in agreement that moving it to Merrill Park is a good idea, but is leaving it up to us where at Merrill Park. Looking at the park, I think maybe the best spot would be along Comstock Avenue in our fence near like the pathway entrance sign. I think it would be nice if it's somewhat viewable from the road. And just kind of being up there seems the best spot, not mixing in with the playground, not being towards the river to where it might get lost a little bit. Also, that spot floods a little bit more often. And when we're doing like Fall Fest and other festival layouts, that spot would just kind of be in the way. So I think just kind of giving its own spot up that way would be the best spot. That I'm open to if anybody has a better suggestion, but that's kind of where we're looking at for that.
Is there any association of the memorial with the name Pier and Pier Park? No. What was the origin of that?
I mean, Ben Martin approached me at a meeting that I was at and asked me about if we had discussed it, and at that point we had had no discussion about it, so I was hearing this for the first time. And I said, well, I mean, if it's in Merrill Park, I mean, kids are going to climb on it, it's going to probably be covered with, I don't know. In my mind, I thought, well, why wouldn't it go up in the cemetery? I mean, we have this big brand new portion. There'd be plenty of parking up there. It seems like a memorial would, I'm sure a lot of those names of the young men that died in the war are probably buried in Comstock Cemetery. I don't know, I just thought, why would you have it in a park where you got kids? It seemed a more reverent spot to me to just have it. And I was talking to Nicole about it today when I picked up my packet, and she said too that there wouldn't be a problem with having a designated area in the cemetery.
The firefighters is up just as you come into Merrill too, right?
I think some of the reason for that was because that was a fire station.
Yeah, no.
I like that idea too.
How would that affect the parade route, or?
I would look at maybe changing it entirely, and maybe we could start at like the high school. I don't know how far that is. That might be way too far, but.
I don't know, they were concerned that people who want to maybe park, to go to this, they have this little ceremony. The VFW doesn't at this point. They have this little ceremony in the park right there at the memorial. And I think we were there last year. I think they even shoot they shoot off the rifles or whatever. And it's a nice little ceremony. But there's really no place, and you've got cars going in and out of that, over the railroad track, and they felt like it wasn't the safest
Yeah, I would agree with that.
place. And so I don't know, I mean, like parking, to me, the cemetery made the most sense. But
In the new part or the old part?
in the new part,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know if there's any, nobody knows who originally put it there, who paid
Yeah.
for it.
The library wouldn't, or didn't, obviously.
I think they exhausted, Tim Hudson is
Yeah.
usually the go-to guy
go-to.
for Comstock history, and he didn't know.
I would say I don't think it has to coincide with the Memorial Day parade route. It was just kind of tunnel vision, to be honest, thinking, okay, part of the Memorial Day parade, part of the memorial, it's not working the way that it's set up at the moment.
I don't,
Yeah, I really like that suggestion, though, up at the
Yeah, I think
cemetery.
that's a good idea.
it just seems like that's a more
Yeah.
sacred, reverent space than the park where kids are running all around and maybe ending up.
Is there a flag behind it too, or is that?
There is. When Dave and I planted the flowers there, we always put, for Memorial Day, kind of
Yeah.
thing of flags down around the flowers and so forth.
Yeah.
But I think there is a flagpole.
Right behind it. That move too?
I don't know if it would be moved or just left and another flagpole added. I don't know if they necessarily go together, but I'll look at changing the route to end at the cemetery. Does anyone know if anyone's going to be upset about the route changing? I don't know how long it's been the way it's been.
Well, you got to think about where the people congregate alongside the road. 26th Street is not exactly real conducive like it is around.
Sure.
So I'm sorry, I missed it. We're talking about starting it from a different spot and ending at the cemetery, or starting in the same place and ending at the cemetery?
Starting at a different space, ending at the cemetery.
I got you.
Or maybe we're starting at the cemetery and doing a loop coming back. I guess I would want to talk to the VFW and see kind of their piece into having a Memorial Day parade, having the spot to have the memorial with this, and just
Right.
kind of looking at that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think the current route is better because the road's wider and you're gonna get more of an audience, I think. But you also, I think we have to really find out about the memorial.
Right.
The current memorial, why it's there. There may be a reason it's there that we can't get around, I don't know.
Yeah, were there 20 people that stayed for the little ceremony? I don't know. It wasn't.
Right, and I think that there's just a lot of things getting in the way of having anybody outside of just being along the road for the parade.
Did you talk to Mr. Rockwell about ending it at the VFW and having the ceremony at the VFW?
No.
Okay, that would make sense.
Sure.
I don't know if the memorial should be there or not, but to end it, because they've got a big parking lot in back where the floats could go in that side street off River Street and just kind of congregate there for some sort of ceremony.
Sure.
When things were very different because of COVID, and because it used to be everybody ended up back at the VFW for lunch, and then they wanted to have it in the park because of
Sure.
COVID. Then they actually did the little ceremony there in the park too. Even though it wasn't by the memorial, but they actually did the
Okay.
ceremony there. So I don't know. And whose expense is the moving of this thing supposed to be at? The
That hasn't
VFW's?
been discussed. Okay.
Some follow-up?
Yep. Sure.
That brings us to the Parks Director annual review. And we used an evaluation tool this time, which I hope was helpful to people. But ultimately, what we have all found, based on the collective review number, is that our director meets expectations plus, so and we're very, very proud of that. What I would like to do is actually set up a time to meet with you and 2 commissioners at a time can go in or in separately and speak with you about what's viewed as significant accomplishments and some suggestions for going forward, and kind of talk that through if you're amenable to that. But ultimately, the number comes out to 3.4, which is great. for the tool that we used. It's, one, if I could say a couple of remarks. The period from November 24th to December 31st, as we know, has been 2025 has been a significant year of transition, a lot of challenges for the whole Comstock Parks and Recreation Department staff. And what makes this year really remarkable is that clearly everyone has stepped up to the challenge and demands of their new and existing jobs. We had quite a layover there to assure success and positive momentum for the Parks Department. And this has also been true of the Township staff interfacing with the department, as well as with the Parks Commissioners, and I thank you all for that. The Parks Director not only assumed her new expansive role with little notice or preparation, but also led her staff through the transition and adjustment with support and positivity. Even when on family leave, she was still nevertheless available for consultation, which was fantastic. Her year-long job results were accomplished in only 9 months on the job. We have to remember that. And 3.4 is remarkable for that, really. The goals in progress and planning and establishing new goals per the master plan for Parks and Rec, staff training and certifications, responsiveness to problems, recurring and new, adjusting to the unexpected leave of the program manager, the challenging assumption of capital project oversight, especially Neal Street, updating management systems, good internal and external communications and coordination, quality parks maintenance and improvements, and program support, and trying new initiatives also, have all been demonstrated, meeting and in some cases exceeding reasonable expectations. So overall, it's been a really good year, and with continuous measures and planned improvements and positive foresight, along with budgetary and township community support, Parks and Recs can continue to achieve a lot under the direction of our Parks Director, Katie Bush. So thank you.
Thank you.
Can we make a motion to give her an increase equal to the 2%
Absolutely.
that the other?
So are you making that motion?
I am.
I think she did.
Okay. Okay, are there any objections? No? None noted? Then motion passed. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you, that was not expected.
Okay, so are there any reports and correspondence?
Every year, the M-Parks area focus group that I'm a part of does a archery survey. So the participating government entity will do a survey reporting on us doing it, and then they give us a link to send to all of our participants, and we send it out to our participants and they fill it out, and it's collected by our head chair, and then he's the one who kind of disperses out to us. So the survey isn't distributed by us, but it is our information, and that was included in the packet today.
So overall, is archery across the board, really catching on with?
It's growing to the point where we put in the budget, I am buying, they're called mini Genesis bows. It'll help younger kids, so we can expand the program that way, but then it also can be used for older adults who can't pull back something as heavy. So we can kind of expand it both ways. The survey keeps coming back where people are having a good experience. It's certainly growing to the point where some people do say that an archery range would be a benefit. I think it's a different group of people that we're able to interact with and provide something that it is in our community, but not in our direct community. And people are always looking for these opportunities, so
It sounds like it's kind
it's fun.
of a growing activity.
I just got it confirmed today. We are doing the program with the STEM school PE class again, so that'll start in February, and our winter clinic will start in February as well.
So is that indoors then? You're in?
Yeah, in the school, in their gym.
Great.
Listen to a show or something.
Okay, are there any questions on the expenditure report? Our expenditures are, for the year, were 93.8% of budget. Is that correct? So, okay. So we're under budget. Great. Okay, any questions on the director's report?
I have one, not on the report. I know I asked you earlier, but I forgot. So do you have any idea when they can put the fence up between Neil and the cemetery?
That's something that I'm going to start working on tomorrow.
Gotcha. I will
Yeah.
ask you after tomorrow.
Yeah, all of a sudden I was like, oh, spring is tomorrow, so yeah.
Katie, I just have a question about this December meeting action list documenting illegal drug use in the parks, SOP created. What does that mean?
Standard operating procedure, so like a document on how to record
I mean, is that being requested by,
the Parks Board. I thought you guys had asked me to document when that stuff happens.
Yes, and just SOP is a way of
Okay.
that process of documenting it.
I mean,
yeah.
it had something to do with like the ordinance office?
No.
Something that his involvement
No.
with it or something? I mean, the only way you know about it would be like if somebody physically sees it or if you are cleaning up.
Basically, it's gonna either come from Joe or our ordinance officer. I hope a resident never has to say something, but that would be the other source, I would say.
On the Wendke softball complex, you have that a new memorial bench was installed by the
Yeah.
county.
Yep.
Can you describe that?
Similar to like the benches, with the memorial plaque that we have at Merrill Park,
Okay.
something like that. It's near the playground. And that was,
At the county's expense?
yes, through the county, nothing a part of us.
Is there a name on it that it's in memory of, or?
Yes, I can't, the name was just there. Like, it sounds like it might be a dog's name, I'll say.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think it's like Shadow, I think, so I guess it could be a nickname, or, I shouldn't say, I don't know, but just to call out that, yes, that is there, we had nothing to do with it, but it is there.
I mean, did you know they were gonna do that, or did they just put it in? Even though it's in the complex, I mean, it's not really, or was it more in the county park side?
No, it's in the park, there's the playground, but with the softball fields, it's like viewing the playground.
Okay, and then we have the December 2025 program recap. Thank you. Nice, yeah. Again, pictures are helpful. Yeah, it really brings it home. So good. And a lot of participation, so variable, but good. Okay. And that brings us to the archery survey. also quite extensive.
Yeah.
A lot going on in archery around
Yeah,
the
it's,
state.
the chair of the department actually spoke at the House of Representatives, and he has his own agenda of things that he's working on for the state of Michigan, and kind of hunting specifically, but really trying to drive the sport of archery for educational purposes. So it's a fun group to be a part of.
Could you please tell me what a bowfish is?
It's a way to hunt fish that are swimming in the water.
Okay, that's, okay,
You wouldn't think it would be as simple as that, but yeah.
okay.
Spear 'em, right?
Yep.
That's legal, actually? Okay.
Could they maybe get a couple of these?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Okay, and there are mostly two predominant age groups, right? The young and then the middle, the young, and then the middle-aged? Is that-
From our group,
From our-
yes.
Yeah. Okay. And everyone brings their own equipment? No?
No, we provide everything.
Even for the little guys? And-
So it's mostly been 10 and up, because 10 seems to be the lowest for the type of bow that we have, and that's why we're buying a different bow, so smaller kids can participate. We do get, every time that it comes up, we get people asking if their younger child can do it, so this way we can open it up to them. Some people do have their own bow, and we inspect it, so we know that it's safe for them to use, but for the most part, people are using our equipment.
Okay. And do you have enough supervisory teacher support for the number of arrows? Kids, they're small and,
Yep.
okay. And so you're not limited by the
We do.
resources you have?
We do limit it to 20 for multiple reasons. We have 10 bows, so that 10 people would be waiting while another 10 are on the line. Any more than that, the waiting period of not doing things would be too long, and there's not an additional piece to the clinic as of yet to educate on other things other than being on the line. So we keep it to 20, where 10 people can shoot at a time, the other 10 have a break, and then it's a fairly quick rotation for the coaches, but for the other people, they're sitting anywhere from like 4 to 7 minutes.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, member comments and announcements of any kind? Okay, I did have one little thing. I dug this out, the annual report 2025, which we need an annual report 2025 according to the bylaws, so.
So I did start working on it.
Okay.
It looked like we don't bring it here until April, so I haven't brought it up yet, but I can send you my updated version.
Okay, because, yeah, we'll obviously add Neal Street in there and a few other things, but yeah, okay, great. Thank you.
Add some people, take some people off.
Okay. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn?
All right. Meeting adjourned at 7:42 PM. Thank you.
Thank you.